As a young man raised and brought up in the public school system, I pledge my allegiance to the...
Today, I'm here to defend the right to pursue happiness. Ashton Kutcher has just revealed something so shocking it's impossible to ignore. He says he did it and can't live with the truth anymore. Known for his charm and comedic roles, this confession flips the image of the fun-loving star completely upside down. What could drive someone so admired to say they've reached their breaking point? Let us dig deeper into this chilling revelation that forced Kutcher to retire from the movie industry for the rest of his life. Kutcher's relationship with Brittany Murphy was one of those early Hollywood love stories that everyone seemed to root for. But after their short-lived romance, Murphy's tragic death in 2009 sent shock waves through Hollywood. At only 32 years old, she was found unresponsive in her Hollywood Hills home. Pneumonia, anemia, and a mix of medications were listed as the cause, but the strange circumstances surrounding her passing sparked endless theories. How does a vibrant, successful actress go from living her dream to a sudden, unexplained death? Before we delve into this, it's clear that Brittany's story holds far more disturbing layers than anyone could have expected. And this revelation won't be the only one to leave you speechless. What made it even more bizarre was the home where she died. Brittany bought the mansion from Britney Spears, who reportedly sold it because of unsettling experiences. Murphy herself hated the house, describing it as unlucky and even haunted. When she begged her husband, Simon Monjack, to move, he refused, insisting they couldn't abandon such an expensive property. Yet this very home became the site of not one, but two deaths within months, as Monjack was also found dead there in 2010. Both deaths were eerily similar, leading some to believe that the house itself held a dark power. Let's not forget the mold theory. Both Brittany's and Simon's deaths were rumored to be linked to toxic mold in the house. Her mother even claimed this was a factor, but official investigations dismissed it. Still, whispers about the property's eerie vibe and its role in their deaths persisted. The stories of spiritual portals, bad energy, and strange occurrences only made people more suspicious. Was it just bad luck, or was something far more sinister going on? Before Brittany's tragic passing, a well-known actor was scheduled to pick her up for a date but ended up finding her home locked and lights off. Later, when news broke of her death, he publicly mourned but kept his distance from the controversy that followed. Yet his involvement in another chilling case shows how tragedy seems to follow him. In 2001, his then-girlfriend Ashley Ellerin was eliminated. Arriving late to pick her up that night, he saw what he thought were wine stains on her floor through the window. The next day, it was revealed those stains were her blood. The Hollywood Ripper, as her criminal was later called, was eventually caught and convicted. Still, his proximity to such a horrific crime raised eyebrows. It doesn't stop there. Recent allegations have brought even more troubling details to light. This same actor, now known for his advocacy against trafficking, has been accused of involvement in activities that directly contradict his public persona. Rumors link him to questionable Hollywood parties where underage individuals, including actress Dee Chase, were allegedly exploited. Chase, who was only a child star at the time, reportedly crossed paths with him at one of these events. Her career took a nosedive soon after, adding more weight to the disturbing allegations. How does a man celebrated for his philanthropy and comedic charm end up tangled in such controversies? His own confession, vague but telling, hinted at something he could no longer hide. Was it guilt over Murphy's death? Regret from his proximity to Ellerin's crime? Or is there an even darker truth that Hollywood's polished image is desperate to cover up? And then there's Mila Kunis, his wife, who recently made headlines by moving out amid the rising tension. While official statements cite personal reasons, insiders suggest she's distancing herself from the storm brewing around her husband. Could this be tied to his recent confession? Or perhaps it's a reaction to the growing scrutiny over his connections to these chilling events. Just when Brittany Murphy's story seemed to end, new questions came up about others in Hollywood. The child star who disappeared from the spotlight, Davy Chase's life story has all the twists and turns you'd expect from a child star thrust into the limelight. Born on July 24, 1990, in Las Vegas, Nevada, she didn't stay in the flashy city for long. Her family soon moved to the small town of Albany, Oregon, where she grew up in what seemed like a regular childhood. Around the same time, she landed a lead role in a musical theater production called Utah. That was no small achievement for someone so young. By the time she was 8, Davy was auditioning for TV shows and movies, taking every opportunity she could get. While some early projects didn't pan out, her persistence paid off. In 2003, she landed a role on Fox's Oliver Bean as the quirky best friend, Joyce, setting the stage for what was to come. Her big break came in 2002 when Disney cast her as the voice of Lilo in Lilo and Stitch. This wasn't just any animated film, it became a global sensation. Lilo was quirky, brave, and full of heart, and Davy's voice brought her to life in a way that connected with audiences worldwide. The iconic line, "Ohana means family, and family means nobody gets left behind or forgotten," resonated far and wide. It wasn't just about the words, it was the emotion she poured into the role. Disney liked her so much they had her continue voicing Lilo in the TV series, video games, and other spin-offs. At this point, Davy wasn't just a kid playing a part, she was a rising star. Then came her darker, unforgettable role. Also in 2002, she played Samara Morgan in the horror film The Ring. That chilling image of the girl crawling out of the TV? That was Davy. Her haunting performance earned her an MTV Movie Award for Best Villain. This role proved she wasn't just a one-note actress, she could handle complex, intense, and even terrifying characters with skill far beyond her years. It solidified her status as more than just a child star. As if those two major roles weren't enough, Davy's voice also brought Chihiro to life in the English dub of Spirited Away, Hayao Miyazaki's masterpiece. The film won the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature, marking another huge milestone in her career. By the age of 12, Davy Chase had accomplished what most people can only dream of in a lifetime. She was balancing roles in movies, TV shows, and voice acting, all while growing up in the harsh spotlight of Hollywood. But Hollywood isn't always glamorous, especially for kids. The pressure, the lack of privacy, and the darker side of the industry began to take a toll. As quickly as Davy rose to fame, she started to fade from the spotlight. By her late teens, the roles weren't as big, and fans began to wonder what had happened to her. Some thought she simply wanted a more normal life away from the chaos of showbiz. Others pointed to the toxic environment surrounding child stars, whispering about exploitation and the heavy toll it takes on young actors. One particular incident that resurfaced involves Sean Diddy Combs. Back in 2003, when Davy was just 12 years old, she was invited to one of Diddy's infamous after-parties. A video clip from the MTV Movie Awards that year shows Diddy chatting with Davy backstage, asking if she'd be attending his party. In the clip, he's seen holding a drink while speaking to the young actress. The video recently went viral as Diddy faces mounting charges of serious crimes, including trafficking and racketeering. Fans and critics alike were horrified by the resurfaced footage. Social media users called out the blatant inappropriateness of a child being invited to such an event. Questions arose: how did this happen? Why wasn't anyone protecting her? People started to speculate about what may have occurred behind closed doors. The video sparked outrage, with many calling for accountability, not just for Diddy, but for the system that allowed such situations to occur. As Davy grew older, her career didn't quite keep the momentum of her early years. She took on smaller roles and eventually faded into relative obscurity. The same industry that once celebrated her seemed to have moved on. But for many, the question remains, what really happened to Davy Chase? Was she another victim of Hollywood's relentless machine, or did she choose to step away for her own well-being? Struggles show how hard Hollywood can be. But the story doesn't stop there as we look at another shocking crime, the night that changed everything. Let's dive into this without any sugarcoating because, let's be honest, the more you dig, the murkier things get. Fast forward nearly 2 decades to 2019, Kutcher testified as a key witness in Gould's trial, claiming he freaked out when he learned Ashley had been eliminated, especially since his fingerprints were on her front door. But here's the kicker, fans and observers alike couldn't help but notice how detached and almost indifferent he seemed when recounting the events. How does someone see what looks like a crime scene and not call for help? It's no wonder conspiracy theories have popped up, suggesting he might know more than he's letting on. And then there's the Mila Kunis angle. His wife has reportedly started distancing herself, and rumors of a split are swirling. Some claim Mila might even be cooperating with authorities, potentially sharing explosive information about his ties to shady figures, including Sean Diddy Combs. The idea of being connected to a larger web of corruption isn't as far-fetched as it sounds. After all, Diddy's history is riddled with allegations, from financial schemes to ties with some of the darkest corners of the entertainment industry. Now, let's not overlook the fact that Kutcher and Diddy's friendship goes way back. Diddy, who's gone by more names than we can keep track of, Puffy, P. Diddy, Love, was a powerhouse in the 90s. He built Bad Boy Entertainment into a juggernaut, raking in millions with artists like the Notorious B.I.G. But his empire wasn't just about music. Diddy had his hands in fashion, TV, and business ventures, rubbing shoulders with Hollywood's elite. Their connection might seem harmless on the surface, but dig deeper, and things get a whole lot sketchier. The whispers about Mila providing information to federal investigators have only added fuel to the fire. Could she know something that could bring her husband's world crashing down? Maybe she's seen enough behind closed doors to decide it's time to cut ties. If his fingerprints on a crime scene weren't enough to make you question things, his ties to Diddy and his murky reputation certainly should. Diddy's influence has been massive, but with influence comes power, and power, as we've seen time and again, can corrupt. This isn't just about one bad night or one questionable relationship, it's about patterns. The act, or lack thereof, on the night of Ashley's crime doesn't sit right with a lot of people. Connections to figures like Diddy only deepen the suspicions. What does it all mean? Is this just a case of bad luck and bad decisions, or is there a darker truth lurking beneath the surface? Whatever it is, it's clear that Kutcher's clean-cut image has taken a massive hit, and the questions aren't going away anytime soon. As these stories unfold, we see links that seem simple at first but point to deeper problems in the world of fame and power. A controversial defense of a friend only adds to the scrutiny. Remember that old MTV prank show, Punk'd? It was chaotic, funny, and had Kutcher as its ringleader. But the connection to big names didn't end there. He cozied up to none other than Diddy, popping up at those extravagant events we all secretly wish we could crash, like the infamous Labor Day white parties. Picture it, everyone dressed in white, mingling like royalty, while who knows what kind of drama brewed behind the scenes. Fast forward to 2019, he's munching on spicy wings on Hot Ones when the topic of Diddy's legendary parties came up. He hinted at untold stories, the kind that probably make tabloids explode. But now, with Diddy facing serious legal charges, we're talking racketeering and trafficking, people are asking, did he know more than he let on? And speaking of controversies, Kutcher and his wife, Mila Kunis, landed themselves in hot water for their public support of Danny Masterson, who's now serving a 30 years to life sentence for assault convictions. This support didn't just spark debates, it set off an avalanche of backlash. Actress Christina Ricci's poignant social media post fanned the flames, her words a bold reminder that even the so-called great guys can hide dark secrets. Many saw the apology as hollow and self-serving, designed to pacify public outrage rather than address any real accountability. Yashar Ali, a journalist, called out the Scientology-tinged phrasing of their letters, arguing that they seemed crafted to protect Masterson at all costs. It's a bad look when defending a convicted felon overshadows supposed advocacy for victims. Meanwhile, the internet didn't hold back. On social media, anger exploded, pointing out the hypocrisy of claiming to advocate for victims while standing by a convicted offender. Comments like, "Interesting how he claims to advocate for victims yet stands by his friend," popped up everywhere. The backlash was brutal, with many questioning whether his advocacy was genuine or just another celebrity PR facade. Adding fuel to the fire, REI clarified her earlier post wasn't meant to target the couple specifically, but she admitted that the uproar made her think about how hard it is to reconcile the people we've admired with the horrible things they've done. Her words were a wake-up call. Believing victims is tough, but it's necessary, she wrote. It's a sentiment that struck a nerve, especially as more allegations against powerful figures come to light. Now, let's circle back to Diddy. With his legal troubles front and center, it's hard not to wonder about all those wild nights Ashton hinted at during his Hot Ones appearance. Were they just harmless parties, or was there something darker lurking beneath the glamour? Diddy's ongoing investigation for racketeering and trafficking raises questions about who knew what and when. Ashton's silence on the matter only fuels speculation. And then there's the Scientology angle. Masterson's conviction has drawn attention to the controversial practices of the Church of Scientology, which has long faced accusations of protecting its high-profile members. The phrasing in Ashton and Mila's letters, as noted by critics, seemed eerily aligned with Scientology's rhetoric. This connection has only deepened public mistrust of the couple, painting them as complicit in a system designed to shield predators. All of this begs the question, where does accountability begin and end in Hollywood? Ashton and Mila's downfall serves as a stark reminder that the core of public opinion can be as unforgiving as it is swift. In a world where scandals can make or break careers overnight, their handling of the Masterson controversy has left a permanent stain on their reputations. And with Diddy's legal battles unfolding, it seems the industry is bracing for even more bombshells. Is this just the tip of the iceberg? Hollywood's history is riddled with tales of excess, abuse, and cover-ups. Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis may have thought their carefully crafted public personas would protect them, but their missteps have revealed cracks in the facade. As for Diddy, his legal troubles could unravel a web of hidden truths that stretches far beyond his glamorous parties. It's clear we haven't heard the last of this saga. Is Ashton Kutcher's confession a genuine cry for redemption, or is it part of something much bigger, possibly connected to the dark side of fame? Tell us what you think in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.